you coming at the king, so you better not miss. And we only get stronger with everything I carry up on my back. You should paint it up with a target. Why would you dare me to do it again? Come get your sport out my head. We're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, look at you calling my name. You ought to know by now that we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, maybe you wonder what your future's gonna be, but I got it all locked up. Take a lap now, don't be mad now. Run it back, run it back. I got bodies lining up, think you're dreaming of greatness. Send you back home, let you wake up. Why would you dare me to do it again? Come and get your sport out my head. We're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, look at you calling my name. You ought to know by now that we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, maybe you wonder what your future's gonna be, but I got it all locked up.在以后，除了是傻子，还有其他吗？我左右，键盘琵琶在时间滴答着，还不够。你的固执让我来守候，哪怕太迟也不想以后。就在这时放肆的打斗。I got the height of a lion, I know the harder you climb, the harder you fall. I'm at the top of the mountain, too many bodies to count. I've been through it all. I had to weather the storm to get to the level I'm on. That's how the legend was born. All of my enemies already dead. I'm born, I'm ready for war. They know I'm ready for war. I told them we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, look at you calling my name. You ought to know by now that we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, maybe you wonder what your future's gonna be, but I got it all locked up.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to day one of the semi-finals. Today we have Maria's Dungeon versus the Cowboys. Today it is me, joined by currently just Red Strike, and we should have someone
one more later on.
joining us later potentially.
We shall find out.
Like, bans were done very quickly. Both sides banning a lot of junglers, 5 junglers out of the game already. Maria's Dungeon will be first picking Smolder, and Cowboys hovering Aatrox. Will just lock the Varus.
Does an eye play Smolder? I don't know. Maria's good cook here. You could send that mid lane potentially. I don't know if they're planning on doing so. Cassante top lane, not going to be the Aatrox.
One of Linian's best champs. Want to get that weak side locked in, as well as it usually gets banned in the second half, so getting it picked up now.
Makes sense.
Will be matched by the Shen. Another good, kind of a lame bully, but has that ult to exert a lot of, not necessarily pressure, but can assist a fight on the other side of the map instantaneously.
Always a nice champion to have on your team. Okay, this is the Smolder carry game if I've ever seen one.
But I will say,
slowly
locking Braum before you see the enemy support can be punished pretty heavily with like a poke support, because if you don't draft engage into it, it kind of becomes much less useful.
True, but Smolder's probably he's like somewhat okay with that. You know, as long as he's not getting jumped, as long as he's getting them stacks, he's fine.
Yeah, and there we
Not
see
ideal, of course.
the Karma locked into the Braum.
Makes sense. We'll just have to see how that turns out.
Second phase of bans, Cat Cowboys will be banning Akali. Ray's Dungeon will match with an Orianna ban.
I was so intrigued to see, are they going to ban more junglers? There's like 5 off the table and neither jungler is picked yet.
Right. All right, there's
They could have gone hard here. They could have gone for more. There could have been 9 jungle bans.
Both of these junglers have seen a lot of success this split. So on a bunch of different champs, so getting their best champs out of the way in these ban phases is definitely what we've seen. But we'll see what this last ban is from Ray's Dungeon. Will probably be another mid lane ban, and yeah, that's 2 of Ibis's strongest champions, Orianna and Victor, banned away. Cat Cowboys probably looking to draft a jungle here and leave counter pick for the mid lane.
It makes sense. Nope. Oh wait, no, I just forgot the champion can go jungle.
That will be Gwen locked in for the jungle of Cat Cowboys.
Pretty decent. Granted, I don't know how... it's like 50-50 into Braum. I guess Braum can block the first ulti. And then into Shen, of course, it is fantastic. Later on in the game.
Mm-hmm. So far, nothing that can super get onto Smolder quite yet, though.
Yeah, very much front to back here from Cat Cowboys. Pantheon over in the jungle. Seems like a good pick into a Gwen, I would imagine. Obviously, late game you're not going to be winning, but, you know, those early fights are definitely going to be in his favor.
We'll see what they will be picking for Inai here in the mid lane. Still theoretically could move that Smolder mid, but highly unlikely.
Yeah, Expo did pretty well in the Smolder last week. Okay, A-Soul. Scaling City over here from Ray's Dungeons.
Mm-hmm. What will be Cat Cowboys' answer into the A-Soul?
Xerath. Okay. Interesting. I am surprised. Granted, I don't know how much of a plan the Xerath is, but if you're going to lock in like a Xerath, I presume... I don't know if that's going to be an on-hit or a poke Varus. And then a Karma, that's very poke oriented, so maybe a more frontliney jungle. But I guess if they didn't know where the Xerath is, or the Xerath was going to get picked, it's not bad. But feel like more. As a completely unbiased caster that totally isn't on one of these rosters.
Yeah, as a caster who is not currently a sub for the Cat Cowboys, a completely unbiased take here. I want to give early game to Cat Cowboys, but if Maria's Dungeon is able to scale into 30 plus minutes, even like 25, fights could go very heavily in their favor if champs like the Xerath, Varus, and Gwen aren't ahead.
This is fair. I think it also depends on what build this Varus is going, because I would imagine with a Karma you want the poke Varus, but at the same time, if you don't go on hit this game, then Shen and Braum are going to be kind of annoying. You will have the Gwen to deal with them, but it's not... Mm-hmm. It just makes that late game even harder.
I will say, I know that Mr. Steele on the Cat Cowboys does tend to opt into the on-hit Varus build. I don't know if I've actually ever seen him opt for the poke build, but...
we'll find out.
Both definitely viable here. Now, I would say lanes to look out for this game. Definitely want to be looking in this bot lane. Navaris Karma will be looking to get a lot of prio early. And possibly turn that into a lot of dragons. I'm not entirely sure how this Shen Cassante matchup goes. I think late game, if they scale pretty evenly, Cassante wins in the 1v1, but kind of just depends on how laning phase goes and if Shen gets a lot of gold or not. Because Shen ahead does a lot of damage.
I will say, off of the entirely reliable stats, Cassante is pretty hard losing to Shen.
Okay.
It's one of the worst matchups. It's up there with like a Poppy, for example.
Gotcha. Is that a BTL stats or like Lolytics stats?
Lolytics.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. I mean, I guess that actually makes sense.
I don't know how the matchup is supposed to go, but you know, I mean, hey, I'm
well,
not top laner, so that's why
how many people are playing Cassante that don't know how to play the champion and just lose?
That's true.
Like that champ's win rates are usually pretty skewed towards losing just because of has a very high skill floor.
True.
We shall see.
That we shall. Any predictions? What's the series gonna look like?
Cat Cowboys have told me it's gonna be a 3-0.
Goodness, have they said which direction the 3-0 is going?
They believe they will win 3-0. I'm aware these teams have actually. I know the regular season matchup went to the Cat Cowboys, and the teams have actually scrimmed each other a number of times. And the scrims have, I think, have gone 50-50 one way or the other. So
I see. Okay. I will say, Mr. Indefiance has a bit of a trend in the past few BTL seasons of putting the Cat Cowboys out of commission in semifinals.
Yeah, he does have. I think
normally paired with myself. But you know, he doesn't have me this time.
Yeah, you're probably usually the difference maker there.
We'll find out.
And actually, I think Cat Cowboys might have found the counter in Defiance, which is just banning all his champions
and all of the junglers.
That's kind of what they have found to be the success route during scrims and in the regular season match. So
we'll just have to find out how successful it is, because I know Mr. Indefiance prides himself on his rather large champion pool. So, you know,
absolutely.
If that were the case, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal if they ban him out.
True. I think they just like prio banning the junglers that have a lot of strength, like the Zin, Jarvan, Nocturne that we saw in the first half. First things like Panth, Skarner, the things they don't ban are definitely a little weaker. But,
indeed.
But that'll be us heading into the spectator delay. Might put on a quick ad break to get rid of the pre-rolls, and we will see you once we are in game.
Take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment. Now is your time. So prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. Reach for the summit. Visions brave and one false step lead the end. among the dust beneath the dirt. Or do you know it? Or do you want it? And when the giants call to ask you what you're worth, do you know if when I'm dying, prove yourself and rise, rise, make them remember you. Push through and rise, rise, they will remember you. Prove yourself and rise, rise, pick up your weapon and face it. Coming round again, you want a dose of this right now it's KDA. I'm a goddess with a blaze, 소리처럼 나 이름 잊지 못하게 loud, 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 loud. I could take you to the top, 절대 멈추지 못해. 내가 끝내주는 bad gal, gal, gal. And when I started talk that, oh you know how to.
So I can see when Dragon and Baron spawn.
For real, they need to make that changeable where you can put it. I don't know how to work with the thing, but welcome to us being in game. Looks like both teams are opting just for a classic 5-point.
True, although Cat Cowboys do not have anybody watching mid lane. Oh, he was going for a Maniflow Band proc, some first strike gold.
Oh,
Will he get it?
might be a little bit ahead.
No, they will get a Raptor's Ward.
Might be a little bit ahead of me. What's your timer at?
109, 110, 11, 12, 13.
Mind. Never mind.
I just saw them walking up on a.
Gotcha. I thought
looking
you
at
saw
the
him
possibilities.
casting an ability.
He
like,
wasn't charging anything up.
Okay,
nah.
okay. I was like, are you a couple seconds ahead of me? No, okay. We're chilling.
I think he could have gotten the Braum there. You know, worth a shot, but he didn't go for it.
First strike.
It will be an on-hit Varus, as previously discussed. We'll find out how well he can auto-attack into a Aesol Pantheon Shen, though. I can't imagine that is a fun spacing time.
Looks like
Nothing else.
the Gwen will be pathing towards bot, whereas Pantheon will be pathing towards top. So junglers will not meet in a lane, and Nickel going for a taunt here. We'll get a decent chunk onto Linian, but only down about 200 HP there in the trade.
Indeed. They are shoving that in. I'm not sure if that bot wave is going to bounce back in time for the Gwen gank. We'll find out though. And similarly up in the top lane. Waves are very pushed out, although they might start to push back in.
And we'll say Linian has been chunked out quite a bit by Miklo. The Shen doing a lot of damage early game with that pull through the Q.
Yeah, I'd
Plus
imagine
max
especially
out
in
damage.
pre-6, since so much of Shen's combat fighting is obviously not involving his R.
Going for onto Braum. Stun will be procced
They
onto
fight
Varus.
back.
Nate Babe is mid here. Might be looking for some form of gank.
It'll be rough though, because the ASOL is looking to get out.
Be a little bit of fighting top here. ASOL will be TPing back mid. Both junglers possibly looking for something, though Pantheon's looking for a lane, whereas Nate Babe may be looking for a dive, but he will just channel his back.
Junglers both not gonna do much. Cowboys are going to recall, but Maria's Dungeon does see that, and they cancel the back.
Now he does get another ward onto the Raptors of the Gwen. They will spot Nate Babe next time he gets there, which will be shortly.
Indeed. Good jungle tracking, although not insanely valuable as a Gwen pre-6 ganks. I can't imagine are too scary.
Not. So we'll be just walking at.
Okay, yo! Yo! Oh my god.
Flash is burnt
Oh, you
here.
didn't get him. That was close though.
No, it was.
That was close.
Meanwhile, Linian getting Miklo into tower range will force a tower shot onto him, and we might be looking at a fight here in over Dragon. Expo forced out of the river.
Nate does get here. Up quite a bit in farm actually in the jungle.
Pantheon will
Varus
get the dragon, and yeah, Varus taken down.
Looking rough for the Cowboys.
That fight will go down to be a 1-for-2 in the favor of Maria's Dungeon. Kills going on both of the scaling dragons. Not what you want to be seeing if you're a Cowboys fan.
You do not. Although I want to be honest, I don't even know how well Smolder scales with gold. Like I don't. It's like he does stuff, I guess. I just care about those stacks.
I think he actually scales pretty well with gold, since they recently changed some of his crit mechanics with his Q. So.
And I'd also say, yeah, like early gold will make stacking a lot easier. So.
Earlier gets that Essence Reaver, the easier his Qs will be able to just kill stuff. Meanwhile, Ibis getting
in a rough position potentially. Oh, and the stun misses. That should be a dead Xerath. He does not have flash. Yup. Things not looking too great for the Cowboys out of this early game. And this is definitely not a weak late game team that they're, or a weak late game team they're playing into either. So those mid game fights are gonna have to go hard, that's for sure. Those grub fights that can, well, once people start getting their ults, maybe they can change stuff up. The Varus are Gwen are.
And we're back to farming. This might be, what's the thing that LS is calling the time in between objective fights? It's like the freaking
I got no
5 minutes of
years.
5 minutes of pain or something like that, where nothing happens.
Is it even
between.
5 minutes these days? Because it's 2 minutes in between first dragon and grubs, and then there's like 3 minutes in between the next dragon. So there isn't even that much downtime anymore now that they've staggered the spawn times.
That's true.
Grubs are up right now.
5 minutes of doom. Yes, you're right, Guppy. It's 5 minutes of doom where nothing happens. All three Guppies will be going to Maria's Dungeon. This is good on champs like the Shen, who will be split pushing most of this game. Take those turrets out, and the lane swap is gonna stay in effect. Expo and Cryptus in the top lane. Actually, Shen will be ulting onto Pantheon. Looks like they were looking for something onto Ibis, but they did not work out. More pings onto Ibis here, and
It's looking rough for the Cat Cowboys out of this early game.
absolutely.
The Xerath may not have been the play. Although, Inai is a scary mid laner, so... You know.
Absolutely.
Already completed that first item at under 10 minutes. 3 kills. Yeah, it's gonna be a scary dragon. And I can't say that Cat Cowboys has much CC to be able to interrupt the Aesol either. It's pretty much just
Xerath E and Cassante
and then
stuff.
Cassante, but I mean, I'd imagine in a team fight it is not a reliable thing for the Xerath.
No.
Cassante is probably their only real hope. But Cassante... Cassante is doing pretty good up in this top lane. Up 30 farm, you know, chilling. The classic top lane conundrum. Up a couple waves and the rest of the team's losing.
Mm-hmm. Getting some good trading onto Miklo here. Grasp procs with one another. So, Cat Cowboys have set up a lot of vision for this dragon.
This is true.
Do have kind of first move on it, a lot of prio on it, but Maria's Dungeon can
Neither
look
of the
to just kind of
dragons
collapse
are
on them.
trading, so I imagine it'll be a bit rougher. Now they are starting to walk in.
Pantheon jumping onto Karma will get stunned, so the big dragon ults chunking out the bot lane. And Nate Babe going in 1v4 here will get the kill onto Pantheon, but meanwhile he will die.
Braum Argo's wide. I don't think they have a way of killing this dragon. Unless they stun him under tower.
True.
That'll do it. And the
Shutdown going to
Shenar
Ibis.
was not up. When did they use the last Shenar? I actually didn't even see it.
They used it mid on attempting to kill Ibis before they then re-went mid and then killed Ibis.
Well, nobody will get the dragon just yet. Good fight for Cat Cowboys though. Xerath picking up 600 gold off of that shutdown.
Gold lead is about 1k total, and that's actually all just about in the mid lane still. So rest of the team is pretty much even. Gwen is actually ahead of Pantheon by about 700, but now Maria's Dungeon on the dragon, a lot of prio for it, and it will probably just be going to them.
With the Shenar, absolutely. They should not be contesting this.
Aesol going on to steal myself here.
And this is why I imagined that an on-hit Varus would not be able to have fun this game.
Yeah.
Granted, I mean, you know, once he gets to like, what, 4th item, it's gonna be good. I mean, what, the build will be Bork, Ginzuz, and then at that point you can go like a Wit's End if you wanted to, or a Terminus, so. At that point, with a Wit's End, maybe the Varus can fight back. But without hard CC, it's gonna get DPS checked, I feel like.
Absolutely.
We'll find out though.
Herb is
She's
clearing
clearing
out
the
this
copious vision.
vision.
Indeed.
Gold lead about 1200 right now.
What dragon is this? Ocean? Yeah, I don't want to deal with Smolder. Yeah, like a very, very front to back comp with Ocean is kind of disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
How many stacks Expo got? 89. I never know how to evaluate how well a Smolder is stacking, because I know that you're supposed to get 225 by like
20.
19 to 22 minutes if on a good game. that just doesn't matter because he increases the amount he gets so much throughout the course
Yeah,
of the game.
it's definitely an exponential kind of.
Yeah,
Once you
so
hit
he's
25, you
got
get them a lot quicker, and then 125, you get
like
them a
he's
lot
got 90.
quicker.
Yup. So even though he's not yet at that 125 mark at 14 minutes, it's like I don't know if he's behind or not.
Kind of just don't even look at it until 20 minutes, and then you see if he's at 225, and then you'll see if he's been successful or not.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Acel really can just go anywhere without getting challenged at 2 items already, Blackfire Torch and the Rylai's.
Not much CC. That's why I wasn't a big fan of the Gwen pick personally. I don't know. It just feels like you need some more frontline if you're gonna running a Varus and then non-tank support and then also a artillery mage. You need somebody to be able to build that space for them, and they don't really have that right now.
I think Cat Cowboys were definitely looking for a much stronger lead in the bot lane early, but they're just not able to really get anything done. Smolder doesn't really want to fight anyway, so plays back and just farms.
Cat Cowboys will be giving up that Herald. No contesting over here.
Oops.
One minute until Dragon, so we will have to see what kind of setup is going to go on here. Not too much aggressive vision already being played, so a little bit more of a last minute prep. Gwen is a little bit far up, but they have the numbers advantage, so honestly it could be a good fight.
Good
Cowboys
Xerath
here. No,
ult,
Acel showed up.
but yeah,
Acel
Acel
showed up.
ult's just doing so much there. Now Linian.
Oh, pull him! Pull him! There we go.
But it does get Shen ulted.
It doesn't matter. Oh, pull him round 2. I will not yield.
He's
And wow,
not
it gets.
yielding.
Yeah, it's rough out here. They did get the flash. So perhaps this is a more vulnerable Acel for this eventual fight. Karma is rather low though, and Xerath is not exactly peak shape himself, so
You definitely want to get backs in
if there
before this
is
objective.
yeah, I don't know if they're gonna have time for that though.
A lot of ults burned
Smolder's TPing in.
on both sides. Only ult up is Pantheon, it looks like.
And the Karma, I suppose, if you count that one.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, I was like, I'm not really counting
Both
that one.
both irrelevant ultis.
Yeah.
Both irrelevant in terms of being able to single-handedly win a fight. Oh my goodness. Cat Cowboys is getting poked out. They're not supposed to be getting poked out. They're supposed to be doing the poking. It's gonna be a bit rough. Yeah, they can't. You can't walk into a Acel. It has to be through mid lane. And even then, they are down.
Possibly a fight here. Stun does land on the Charybdis.
Yeah, Shen is walking up. This feels like a bit of an exposed play. Oh, the Varus R comes up but goes wide. The Gwen R is back up. Cassante R is coming back up. Acel R, yeah, all of the R's are back up now.
Indefiance is chunked to half, and now Gwen ult. But also the Acel ult. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they just had too many ultis come back up because the Varus R and the Xerath R didn't really get that value. And we get the 360. And he will not get the kill because he 360'd, and will instead be giving it to. Oh, never mind. Yeah, no, it will learn him eventually.
It's a 5-for-0 team fight.
Yeah, I feel like if the Varus are lens and they can force a fight right then, I feel like there's some potential, but otherwise they're just walking in down their two of their more important ultis. They did have Gwen, but yeah, that ASOL damage is a bit nutty at this point in time.
That Sky's
Alrighty.
Descend ult just one
Oh,
shot 3 of the members of the Cat Cowboys.
The Raptors will not get stolen entirely. Yeah, because now Smolder is also going to become a problem soon. Not at the 225 just yet, but I believe around a 170 last time I checked. Yeah, 170. So is getting there. Is getting there. Now that the 125 has been obtained, it shouldn't be too long. Definitely in time for next dragon. And that will be the Ocean Soul. So, while Maria's dungeon has not taken too many towers just yet, they won't have too much difficulty, I imagine, particularly if they're able to force Barons later on. And with an ASOL, that damage against Barons will be quite substantial. Dang, nobody cares about Otacon these days, huh?
Yeah, I guess not. We'll be looking for just a 5-man dive on the Miklo here.
This is a rather unfortunate position for Shen to be in. I don't think that man's making it out. Did have flash, so maybe he could have done something, but too much CC.
Shutdown does go to the Varus, but now Otacon on the other side of the map will just be going down to Maria's dungeon. Cowboys might just look for 2 towers, though.
Should be able to get this. Surely with a Gwen and a Vaughn and Varus, they can shred this tower. And they do have objective bounties. This will be a very welcome injection of gold right over here. Yeah, 570 plus the original, like, what, 700 that it already gives. That's like...
Gold lead from going about 5k to 3k after that, but after this tower goes down, it'll go about back to 4k. He drifts this to the mid lane tower.
3.5k. 3.5k.
And Defiance
Oh,
not
shot.
going for Drift King onto mid lane tower. We'll just go to knock
Drift
blue buff.
onto the blue buff.
Smolder at 2 components for his IE. Once IE is completed, Smolder will... I mean, they're already doing a lot of damage, and it'll just get worse from here. Cat Cowboys blue side lit up like a Christmas tree. Wards all up in there.
True.
So 4-man on the buy side. I mean, they're gonna
Tier 1.
know they're
Not
there.
have... will they get the tier 1? I don't... They will go for
Pantheon
it.
ulting.
They should be able to get it. The question is will they die for it?
Tower will go down. Shen ult goes through.
They do have the numbers here for now.
ASOL ult goes through.
The
Smolder ult
Smolder
goes
is coming
through.
in and nobody has died, and this is a get the hell out for Cat Cowboys. Yeah. No, it's looking grim.
Chat.
It's looking grim.
Chat. Game 2 time.
It might be game 2 time. Surely Smolder has 225 now, right? Oh, 209. Okay. So a little bit behind, but you know, it's basically as good as you can get. No
2
complaints.
fights in a row are 5 for zeros for Maria's dungeon.
Yeah, now the gold lead is like 6k or 5.5k. Soul coming up in a minute. They're about to get this tier 2. It might be a little bit late actually too.
You gotta just say though,
Cat Cowboys will have the initiative, but the question is, does it matter?
this game is really looking just like a kind of a draft gap, like we were talking about. Cat Cowboys were not able to get that early pressure that we were talking about them needing to get in order for them to be successful. And this scaling on this side of Maria's dungeon was hit early with the early team fight win.
Yeah, it's not easy to just like outpoke a Braum even though that is how you're supposed to beat him. It's not like it's a free and easy thing to do.
Yeah, that fully charged Xerath Q only doing about a fifth of Expo's health.
Yeah, he's... If you're not ahead on Xerath, the champion does not feel like it does damage. That is for sure.
That Cowboy's just in their blue side jungle. It's like just ulting the wave here by Xerath.
Oh. Flash R goes down.
And
Honestly,
the
all they need is
Ace
somebody to
Soul.
start the pipe. And, yep, the Smolder Execute is coming through. I do not see a way for Cat Cowboys to win this game 1.
Absolutely not.
I must admit.
And that'll be another 5-0 team fight.
You know, it's most definitely a GG. Well, it is just a formality as they end. And even if they don't, it doesn't matter. Because Cat Cowboys are not coming back.
Absolutely not. Down just under 10k here. Gwen is immune, but that doesn't mean anything here.
The Nexus is not. And in rather dominant fashion, game 1 goes to Maria's Dungeon.
That is not something you want to see if you're a Cat Cowboys fan.
Indeed. Well, I don't think Cat Cowboys want it to be a 3-0 anymore. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely. I was telling them I wanted it to be a 3-2 so I can play Silver Scrapes, but that's just my dream.
You know, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. I can respect it.
And Cat Cowboys, I mean, it'd be artistic and, like, imagine the storytelling of In Defiance always knocks out Cat Cowboys, and now this season, now this split, they come back and reverse sweep. The storyline there, that's what we live for. But
I'll take it, because that means that I'm needed there to beat Cat Cowboys, because surely then I would just win tomorrow's game and then win next week, right? Surely. Surely.
Surely you guys beat DPS.
We'll find out. It's totally not like we lost to them like 3 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah. No, it's definitely winnable.
Absolutely not. Unfathomable.
For everybody, I mean. But that being said, we're going to head to a quick break, and we'll see you when draft begins.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, relentless, you survive. They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near. It's deep in their bones, they'll ride into smoke when the fire is fierce. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die.
We are in draft. What Cat Cowboys have selected to be on red side yet again. What changes will they be making to come ahead and win game number 2?
Well, not going to be picking any of the same champions, that's for sure, because we're in Fearless. But I would hope that they have a little bit more CC, a little more late game security. I think are the main two. We'll have to see, because Maria's Dungeon also likely will not be running the exact same draft with heavy frontline, 2 hyperscalers, so. They will have to adapt, nonetheless. Looks like in Defiance we'll still not be getting his jungle champions. Perhaps if Cat Cowboys are on blue, they'll let one of those up. Oh, a Poppy ban. I don't believe that was banned last time.
It was not.
I believe it was a Vi. Perhaps they are looking to first pick this Vi. Or perhaps, I would imagine so. I can't think of another reason. Or they're planning on going some dash champions. The J4. No. Oh, well, we'll be the J4 or the Vi, and it will be the J4. And on Maria's Dungeon, be throwing Mr. Defiance on said Vi that was left up.
We shall find out.
In 18 seconds at the latest. I can't see. Oh, a 0 first pick. Goodness. Goodness.
Now, this is a game you would have wanted to pick Xerath into. However, now
Not be available.
it is not available. It was picked game number 1. Will Cat Cowboys
Well,
have
the
an
Vi is
immediate
open.
answer, or what will be their plan?
Thresh? Okay, I was about to say Thresh here would have been interesting. Victor, I was about to say I could definitely see the Victor. It's one of the old classics for Mavis, I feel like. And the Tristana. Definitely locking that in the ADC role. Unless we're about to see some diabolical things.
I was gonna say, like, Tristana has been historically played mid as well, but then where's
That's not
Victor
on the
go?
table this one. Hey, listen. These days with the Roa build on Victor, you know, send a top lane.
Victor,
Actually, you know what? No, Victor bot is a viable and valid strategy. Thank you, right?
true. Then they could just send Iva's bot, with steal myself in mid lane, but Tristana will be matched by Lucian, probably a Nami or Milio following that.
Indeed. I feel like I've seen Ether on the Nami a couple of times. I wouldn't know. All right, it's gonna be the Milio. That one's been jumping in popularity recently.
I think Lucian really likes that extra range that the Milio Cozy Campfire gives him.
True. Now, what will be picked here? Will it be a support to pair with the Tristana? Will it be a jungler before? More. This time, there's no more mid laners to ban because your mid laners have locked in. So.
It will probably be a lot more jungle bans in the second half if I had to guess, at least for the Cat Cowboys.
Not a list. That point and click R will be helpful into the 2 relatively mobile carries that Expo and I will be taking. Ban a jungler.
There's one.
There we go.
Wukong gone.
Yeah, I was about to say,
There's the
surely
Vi ban.
Vi goes in.
Holy,
The
we're
Vi
gonna
had to go.
we're gonna see some spicy jungle
Alright,
picks
what
this
else?
game.
What else is there in the jungle pool, huh? What are you gonna take out?
There's so many
Like
things.
Sejuani's that's a popular one. Like, man, I'm looking at the Skarner.
Nefiri's
Really?
pretty
Nefiri's
strong.
Renekton. All right, you're gonna throw a top lane, man.
Zach.
Commit to it, Cat Cowboys.
Get him out. Okay, Lee Sin's available, and Bess.
Bessa. Goodness. I know that's a flex. That's a flex. I apologize if I'm leaking this in Defiance, but this is technically a flex. Could go jungle, could go top lane.
Maria's Dungeon did not pick Bessa. That's a Cat Cowboys.
Did it not?
Bessa.
I'm trolling. Why did I say that?
Well, you just
Well,
leaked something
I don't
for
know.
no reason now. Holy.
Yeah, to be fair, I was suggesting bans for them as well. So
I see.
You know, I'm keeping it interesting. All right, Ornn. Someday Mikola will be able to play not a tank, but today is not that day.
Shen duty, Orn duty. Oh.
What are you gonna throw on next? Like Cho'Gath?
Cho'Gath.
Scion?
Mundo.
Get my
Someone
boy
pick
like
Mundo.
that.
I want to
Oh
play.
my
I want to
God.
play the push song too, because if someone locks it, you know that's what I'm playing in between drafting game. And it will be the Skarner. Now this is Kate. This is a crazy Ivern angle, by the way.
Why?
Ivern is so good into Skarner, and with champs like
is,
Ambessa
like-
and Nautilus are super good users of the Ivern shield.
Wait, why is this a particular counter pick enlighten me?
I actually don't know the reasons, but all I hear all the time by like casters and stuff is that Ivern is uber into Skarner, probably because of the shield Moonstone onto whoever gets Skarner ulted. It's probably the main reason, but Evelyn, holy something spicy.
Is that?
That's real.
Goodness.
I know that's one of his most played champs. He
Goodness.
has not been able to pull it out yet, but they
How
slam it.
funny.
They're ready. They think they're ready.
Well, once again, I'm noticing a consistent pattern within these Maria Tensions drafts. This is just big beefy boys top jungle, and then put our mid and ADC on the most hyper carry champions that we can think of. Support, do whatever your heart desires.
Fleur, are you talking about Cowboys Evelyn or Inai's Azir about you guys getting shit on?
Oh, the previous message was Inai on Azir. I'm getting PTSD, so yeah.
Yeah, that's probably Inai Azir. Gotcha. Yeah. That champ is gross. I hate it. Super strong, not getting nerfed.
Surely the victor will save us all. Hey, you know what? Listen. I could see the Tristana angle into Azir. I could see that. And then just send Victor as a, like when you have the lockdown with the Nautilus, you're guaranteed the abilities and then the W, like, I could see the vision.
Mm-hmm.
Surely they will roll swap here. Surely.
Send the
Without a
Victor
doubt.
bot into Lucian and just Tristana mid. Definitely don't think you want. I don't feel like Victor Nihilus is a good late though.
Honestly, I can listen. I played with Victor wants a tank in the support role. Promise you.
Okay.
It's good lockdown. I played this.
You're a knower. You're a knower.
Listen, my draft pool is support, and then if I have to go anywhere else, it's Victor.
I see.
Except jungle. We don't talk about that. Unfortunately, I think loading in it was Avis in the mid lane, so my dreams have been ruined.
No, Evelyn definitely an interesting pick here. Not something.
That's true. That is a spicy one.
Not something that we've seen them lock really at all this season. I don't think he's blocked it once, but definitely in Nate Babe's at least solo queue champ pool, one of his most played. The MR Shred, pretty good into tanks. 40% MR Shred is really strong.
Fair.
But like most assassins, if you don't get ahead early, you're kind of useless. Good Evelyn one-shot onto Lucian, though, is possible.
I'll say GPJ has played Evelyn once, and that is the only Evelyn game in this BTL season, looking at the stats sheets, which I believe has been updated. Or I think it has been updated? I don't know. Yeah, it has been updated for preseason, not Gauntlet though.
Gotcha. Now it's these picks like Evelyn that really throw my ability to predict a match kind of out the window, because you don't see it often enough in like a competitive format to really know how it's going to interact in these games.
Fair.
So definitely will be an interesting game to watch, because if Evelyn does get ahead, the Azir, the Lucian can just get one shot with like a 2-3 item Evelyn. I don't.
Nautilus and Mbessa are going to be providing a good amount of disruption, so
I don't remember.
difficult.
In LEC, there was a team that had an Evelyn in solo queues an Evelyn one trick, but he obviously was just a LEC jungler. He locked it one time and just he flashed over a jungle wall, QE ulted, and the carry died. Like not even triple Q, just QE ult.
I believe it.
So Evelyn can do things, but I think prio in most of these lanes does go to the side of Maria's Dungeon, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, I will say that. I mean, the bot lane from Cowboys definitely has a strong early fighting capability. So I think that they have potential. Mid lane, I'd imagine Azir has a little bit of an edge, particularly before Victor gets the upgrade. Top lane, all I know is Mbessa is weak early, so.
And Ornn is the AP tank assassin bruiser.
The laundry list.
Yeah, he's a tank, but he one shots people in lane sometimes with the brittle proc. So
Tanks need damage.
True.
Otherwise, who's gonna respect them?
Not me. I don't respect tank players.
What about
unless you're playing Mundo, because that's just
Mundo's
Giga
not a
Chad.
tank.
That's just Giga Chad. Push.
That's just a bruiser. Thank you very much.
True. Yeah, that being said, before we head to this delay, should be a good match. I think the overall draft, comp, I think would go to the side of Maria's Dungeon, but this Evelyn does throw kind of a wrench into the game that can't really predict. So definitely excited to see this game go through. We will see you once we are in game.
Spreading all around my room, my world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. And hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is the one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Breathe faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out.
Not seeing anything too dastardly with the runes. I do see PTA on his ear. Is that what you normally go? That doesn't sound
Can't
like what I remember.
say I've ever seen an Azir go PTA.
I was about to say, I was like Lethal, Halo Blades.
The cat cowboy
cla-
me hopes that was a misclick, but you know.
Goodness. We'll go and look it up. How common is it? It is not at all common, although it's not bad. Yeah, it's got like probably like a 0.5% pick rate.
Gotcha.
Most of the time it's lethal tempo. Sometimes like grasp or conquer. Well, I guess if he doesn't think he's gonna get into those long extended fights, then I can't say it's the worst. I mean, hey, if you can proc it, like you're an on-hit champion, so
Mm-hmm. There he goes.
okay.
Procs it.
It does proc the PTA, so yeah. Everything else looking pretty standard.
Winning going for a little trade there, but much to really talk about. Grass procs
They're
getting
just
traded.
chilling.
Oh wait, you're getting spammed to some Discord messages. I can hear through your mic.
I don't even know why, because my mic is pretty good at not getting audio. Like you don't hear
There are just
Prebu
some
doing
sounds.
shenanigans.
There are some sounds.
But like
that just,
Discord
like...
audio specifically.
Yeah, no, there are some sounds that just
Like-
cut through the noise filters.
How they do that?
I don't know.
It's Discord. You should know your own audios, guys.
Meanwhile, on the
Alright,
bot
well,
lane,
we're busy fighting. Yeah.
fight going. A little poke into Cryptus, but lots of sustain on the side of Milio, so should be fine. No subs burned. Linian going for a good trade on Miklo here. Meanwhile, Ibis up ahead in the trades in the mid lane. More health. CS going even, however. Both junglers pathing towards bot. Evelyn has been spotted on her Gromp. They are aware where she is. With that ward.
Although just like last game, not exactly as scary of a champion 3-6. Yeah, the solo laners from Cowboys are doing a lot better in this early game. That is for sure.
Ibis's Discord picture is a picture of his own face plastered on top of the Victor champion model, so this is his favorite champ, if not his best champ.
Indeed. Y'all weren't picking that as much as I would have liked to see throughout the season. It was like Yasuo every other game, I swear to God.
No, I mean, Ibis Yasuo is also something else to behold, but not a lot of Ari's getting picked into us, so they normally just lock that into Ari, the Yasuo.
I see.
And Napebabe actually getting both scuttles here into Indefiance. And while Indefiance does get his first recall for the double ruby crystals, Evelyn is just starting her second full clear.
I guess if you're just power farming to 6, why not? You're taking them off. You're taking them off spawn anyways, so it's not like not buying is causing the Evelyn to lose anything.
Right. Huge hook landing onto Lucian here, and a good chunk of damage going out to both AD carries. Expo
the
taking a
dash
tower
is
shot.
Bold right there. If Ether was a god and flash autoed to stun Expo under tower, then
That would have been legendary.
that would have been a kill. That would have been a kill, and I would have accused them of scripting, but you know.
Evelyn waiting in base for something.
What is it? It is boots, the Dark Seal.
And a lot of
And-
components.
Yeah, a lot of components.
Oh, that hook almost lands on the Expo there, and might have actually died if that had landed. He is
He was just doing a good job of pushing in Inai, but I don't know how much it'll matter because Inai is not down farm and they both still have TP.
Garner is mid, looking for the Azir TP, and it's not quite 6 yet. But Skarner is going in onto Ibis here, and we'll slow him down.
Annoy
But
that man.
he will just walk out. Waste a little bit.
Delay
of his
his back.
Was probably gonna have to TP anyways, so doesn't really impact that too much. But we'll just
a farmer too.
be annoying, pad his damage stats, you know.
Okay. Doesn't even have those grasp stacks to be able to get on the
No,
Azir.
I don't know why camera still has me top lane. There's posturing for Dragon here. Actually, Nate Babe getting Azir ulted.
Ooh, a good shuffle though. And that will be a dragon given by Cat Cowboys. The Evelyn is not 6, and I would imagine that is a very big problem for Cat Cowboys' fighting potential.
Absolutely. Oh, Nate Babe
And
losing connection.
Nate Babe is back.
And rejoins. So expect a quick little spectator pause here in a couple seconds. The old
We'll
bug.
find out.
It's almost assured. Yep, here it is.
Yep. I guess since they didn't pause during the actual pause for us, right? So they just gotta make sure that there's that 3-minute delay. So, how is this early game going based on your comparisons? Oh, wow. We're back in it.
Well, Cat Cowboys are up 500 gold.
They are.
Marie's Dungeon did get first dragon, but
The soul lanes are doing quite well.
I think this was kind of expected with, especially the Lucian Milio early. It's kind of the lane you expect to have prio.
Grubs will be coming up, yeah, and Marie's Dungeon does this every game. They send their bot lane top. And if you can kill Inai here, then perhaps it doesn't matter. But Inai also does have flash. Indeed, and he will not even need to use it. That shuffle. Very nice. Nicola will TP down to the bot lane. And Bessa will also be backing. And so, while Maria's Dungeon will be able to make this rotate, will Cat Cowboys fight back?
There's 3 mid here into Ibis, but they're just gonna get poked a
Nai
little
is
bit.
so low here.
Yeah,
so to be honest,
absolutely.
this is very fightable from Cat Cowboys.
Absolutely.
Like, and I cannot stay here. Avis is more than comfortable right now. Still has ulti.
But Manrio's
They just need
Dungeon
to get
are
there, like,
hitting
now.
grubs now.
They need to go there yesterday.
Okay, Azir is gone. Will be gone for about 30 seconds. They will
They get
smite
one,
the
and I think
first
they're gonna
grub,
get out
and
now.
we'll probably just walk out here.
Oh, there's a lot of pings.
Going on to
I
Ibis
don't-
here. Ibis forced to flash and either misses the hook onto Kribis. Kribis forced to flash, but there's lots of ults going through. Indefiance landing a double ult, and first blood going to the Evelyn execute here. Azir is here, does land the shuffle onto Ether. And Expo getting Steal Myself, and now it's just a low Ibis versus Nate Babe, and the fight is gonna go the way. I think it's a 1-for-1? No, 1-for-2.
1 for 2. Yeah, because the first blood was there too.
But now Kribis
Although
getting
it
caught
might
out by
be a
Ibis.
2 for 2. Nah, the Evelyn doesn't have ulti. I don't think this is a converted kill.
Well, now
In
Nate
fact, it
Babe
might
might
be
be
a
dead
turn.
here.
No, he is not. And actually, is Nape gonna look around? Is he gonna try to kill? Because like
may.
surely one victory will kill here. Like this is a very precarious position for Maria's Dungeon bot lane. Because the moment they leave tower, Nape is murdering them. Yup.
Well, you'll look at the kill onto Evelyn.
Emilio gets it, but yeah, that's a win for Cat Cowboys right there. They do get the
Absolutely.
feats as well. And they got 2 grubs, so this is going pretty well. The fight felt a little bit scuffed for the grub fight, I'm not gonna lie.
definitely
they had the
did.
3v4, they had the 4v3 advantage, but they just weren't able to actually force the fight. I think the Nautilus went wide, and then I guess outside of that, they don't really have any engaged tools unless Mbessa is there.
I think really Nate's time was actually wasted quite well by the Milio, getting a kick onto him, slowing him down, and now Linian
This is
stunned under
surely a
tower,
dead Mbessa.
flashes, and is gonna die.
Unfortunate. And with Dragon up in a minute, might matter, although it will probably not because he has TP. This will be a rather important Dragon fight. Probably will help determine who gets tempo. I imagine both teams here feel like they can fight it pretty strongly, so there should be a fight.
Gold is pretty even. Gold for Marie's Dungeon is in the hands of the Lucian, whereas gold for Cat Cowboys is mostly on the Victor. Miklo in the top lane here by himself will get a plate. Now, in Defiance. Not getting caught out, and teams are posturing for a fight here now. Evelyn chilling and try there, might look for a cheese onto someone who's trying to rotate.
Sneaky angles. It looks like Cat Cowboys do have initiative here.
Hook going wide. Indefiance is getting ulted here. Is forced to flash. Gets hit by Mbessa ult,
and the
and
Mbessa are.
will be going down by
Doesn't matter.
by Linian.
They didn't pick the Nautilus for the Q, they picked it for the R.
Exactly.
When you have all these mobile champions like this, Skarner, the Zir and Lucian. We'll get some plates here mid, but can the Nautilus look? He will look, he will miss. Well, that is a more excusable miss because dashes were involved.
Gold
And-
now, pretty much even. 100, 200 gold in favor of Cat Cowboys, but
Yeah.
I actually like, when we're talking individual Drakes, I do like the Mountain Dragon over the Infernal Dragon. Because
That's fair.
Effectively,
Yeah,
the Infernal
it's-
Dragon gives like 3 to 6 AD or AP about.
There.
Like a little
Ooh,
flash
we're
would
gonna
go
afford
through.
the flash.
Whereas the Mountain Drake, I think, is especially more effective on champs who don't build a lot of resist because just more resist, or how do I even word this? The like lower resist you have, the more even a little bit helps
See,
in damage resist.
That's true, but also it's not true because as you get more, like even though you're not really gonna like the actual percent resistance doesn't go as high, I agree, but the amount of effective HP you get still goes up linearly.
True. Fair enough.
Yeah, so it's like, granted the percent resistance between 25 and 50 armor isn't gonna be as much between 75 and 100, but in terms of effective HP you get the same amount.
Sure. That makes sense. Now it looks like we will be experiencing the 5 minutes of doom phenomena where nothing happens until the next dragon.
Like 3 minutes and 30 seconds, thank you very much, and I'm sure.
Well, there's been
Both
nothing
teams
going on
are
for
like-
2 minutes, so it's been two
You
of
got
the
me there.
two
You
of the
got me
5 have already
You
elapsed.
got me there. Yeah, listen, this very important Herald objective is up, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Let alone Otacon. These
Okay,
crucial objectives
hot
that
take-
teams will
hot
be
take-
desperately fighting over.
Hot take from Lakey. There are too many objectives in this goddamn game now.
Yeah, they want people fighting off cooldown.
How do you expect a jungler to farm when there's an objective spawning every minute and a half?
Beforehand, macro mattered a little bit more in the early game. Now it's just shove to the objective, and only macro only matters once Baron spawns at like 20, post 20 minutes.
We'll be looking for a fight here mid. Nape might be able to get this charm. Charm does land. Although Nape under tower will ult
That's
the
the wrong
wrong
direction.
wave. Will get out, however. Oh, Linian ult goes wide. Steal myself under tower
Very
for some reason, and
This is not a good fight.
what?
Although only one of them died. Yeah, I don't know. That was a sequence of very unfortunate events.
Yeah,
The hook went wide. The charm landed, but Lucian was already pretty much out. The Evelyn ulti, I don't know what was intended.
Azir hook
on
under
Azir.
tower.
Forces the flash out, but no kill.
Oh, bouncy castle action going on here, but
It put some good pressure back on them. Means that now Victor will definitely be able to just hold this on his own.
lane is now. Well, it was even until Miklo collects his first tower.
True. And now those next objectives will be rather important for the feats. Cat Cowboys up 2-1 in that regard. Yeah, honestly, I never see like the rift matter except for feats. That's the only time it matters. And to be fair, it normally is the deciding thing for the objectives, unless one team is already sweeping, in which case they probably already have the kills and the.
I wish spectator
tower
client showed information about feats. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, you just got to do the math yourself. It's terrible. If I remember correctly, Cat Cowboys got the first feats off of the top lane kills.
Yep.
And then we just saw Miklo get the first tower. Oh! A flash hook. Alas, they will not get anything value off of it. Although, Skarner will walk up, so a fight could happen anyways. Oh, he's looking. Ether's looking.
Head back top.
Will not look. Yeah, Ambassador's gotta go catch that wave.
Oh, does land on the.
You do not have the numbers here, Ether. This is
It's
a rough
a
fight.
4v3 here. Don't want to be doing anything. Like they just spotted on the control ward. He's gonna get ulted.
Ooh.
He won't get hit by about 70% of that Lucian.
Does that matter though? Because it is Evelyn, and Evelyn has free health.
Not until she has a little
Okay.
bit more AP, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, after getting that set of pots, everything is good. And it looks like they are going to be giving this.
Dragon number 3 going. Now, I will say this is an Ocean Soul, Ocean Math, and
Just like last game. Oh, it looks like they will get this, and as a result, should get the feats.
yeah, feats will go to Cat
Yup.
Cowboys. Ocean Soul, both teams want it badly for this game.
That's true. That's true. Soul tends to be quite useful in almost all circumstances, and this is no exception. Defiance, I don't know if you can tank that at this stage of the game, buddy. They will give the tier 1 tower though, so this is still definitely a win for Maria's Dungeon. Especially with Soul being the likely win con. As it always is.
I'm chunking Millicolo out a little bit, but
Yeah, at this stage, Ambassa is doing Ambassa things. Also, I see that Mikolo has opted into the Hollow Radiance, which, granted, not a bad decision into that mid-jungle pairing, but definitely not what you want in lane.
Nope.
That magic resist will not do much unless Ambassa is secretly doing magic damage and I'm not aware of it.
yeah, not gonna be doing much for her in the in lane.
The wave clear, though, is probably a likely reason why it was purchased, though.
Absolutely.
And that is a fair enough reason.
Zulper, the Mingos probably don't play until next split, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta admit, I think you might be right about that one. Unless there's some diabolical e-subbing going on.
I don't know if e-subs are allowed during semis and finals, are they?
They are.
Okay, okay.
Same rules as Gauntlet, though, so I think one e-sub will lose you all of your bans. I don't really know what happens if you have to e-sub 2 players.
Cryptus might just go down here.
That is a deceased Emilio. Tristana gets out, though. This is
And
definitely
I'm
not a
forced
fight
to walk out, and they're looking for the old classic NA RAM here. Rift
Hey,
Trails.
they got Shelly. They can do that.
The tower probably will
Will
not
be
go
a
down.
4v5. Although, oh, Defiance lurking around the corner. looks like it's just going to be the crash. The wave clear is a bit too strong, and I suppose without the ultimates, it's a little bit hard for Cat Cowboys to force here. They got the Tristana and the Mbessa, but they don't have their big teamfight ultimates.
And now Ibis has no TP, and Maria's Dungeon are looking at this Otacon, starting to hit it.
It will probably be a give. I mean, now they just get mid tower. Y'all spent all this effort defending mid power just to like give it 10 seconds late.
Right. And bot tower, actually.
And they're probably gonna get the tier 2 ether. I don't know how long you can take this, buddy.
Not for much longer.
Just like in Defiance. They will get the Otacon, but to be quite honest, it's not a great trade. I feel like Cat Cowboys is alright with this. They get 2 tier 1s and a tier 2. And Evelyn just decides to go do some stuff. Just mess with them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Let them know they're never really safe.
Now, did trunk him to half HP, and Evelyn's only at 1 item. If this is anything to, like, point out how that happens later in the game, Evelyn lurking and one-shotting a Lucian or a Azir, it's definitely a possibility, although Azir is building, I think, Rylai's with that Giants built, so we'll be looking to eat a little tank here with some health built, but... Yeah, Otacon for 3 turrets. I don't know exactly how that plays out in math for gold, because Otacon's extra XP
Otacon
is
provides
nice,
like
and
a
the team fight like slow explosion. I don't know like how much worth like that is worth in terms of.
I think
like,
general consensus
gold.
is that Otacon isn't that great. Oh, the hook goes out. This looks like a deceased set of individuals unless they actually just get out because I'm trolling and I don't know the damage values. I am correct. I don't know damage values. I thought they would get the Milio at least, but I think they just invested a little bit too much into trying to kill that Skarner.
Yeah.
And that Skarner is a tanky boy. Those Merc Treads are doing absolute numbers right now.
Absolutely.
Such as the downside of picking an AP mid-jungle. Yep.
Dragon is spawning in 2 seconds. Dragon is up. So we have the
Maria's
old.
Dungeon will be getting mid-prio, but they do not have river control.
Ibis gets
And
a good.
so Ibis will continue
decent
to click
chunk
his
here.
buttons.
And they're just hitting Dragon here.
The Nautilus ulti is down, but the Milio ulti is also down.
Ronald is good, but Mbessa diving into the backline will actually just get walked at.
Get out! Ooh, the Skarner ulti
Defiance.
was wide.
Misses it.
Oh,
and I
my
gets a
God,
crazy
shuffle.
shuffle.
Shuffle. Yeah, no, the shuffle was a bit too big. It was looking even, and then the Azir got involved. Yeah, not having that Nautilus ulti, and then just the Ornn being able to buy time. It's a little bit too good. And now, Cat Cowboys down 1 Drake to 3. Gotta figure out a way to win team fights in the next 5 minutes.
Absolutely. Gold is pretty much even. Only about 200 gold separating the 2 teams.
Indeed. It just might be a team comp diff where the front to back is just a little bit too difficult to break through. They started the fight off by Mbessa ulting one of the backline carries. I don't remember which one it was, but unfortunately the follow-up wasn't really able to get there. With that disruption from the Ornn. We will have to see. Because at that point, well, top laners and junglers should be at 2 items. Mid laners maybe will be at 3 items, and then bot laners might also be approaching 3 items. So we'll have to see if that makes a difference. Because, you know, as you mentioned earlier, if Evelyn's able to hit that breakpoint and find an angle, then one-shotting the Azir, where the Lucian might just be the thing that wins them the fight.
Right. Is backing. We'll see if everyone does complete the death cap. One at
Okay, so
2
yeah,
items
definitely
now.
sitting on a lot of gold. If they roll to do that. Both mid laners sitting on about 1,000 gold.
Tower will
as
go
well.
down. Gold pretty much exactly even still.
Yeah, it's just the team comps that'll matter now, and nobody was able to really garner a lead, and I don't think either team was especially stronger in the early game. Coming out of draft, at least.
Yeah, no.
Now we'll all be up to execution. Or champtive.
Okay, I miss backstabs by the blighted blighting gem, blighting jewel for a little more pen. And in defiance, is gonna get ulted by Linian here, and does get chunked to half health.
The double TP though, that may come into play later on. That's for sure.
Nautilus does get
Nautilus to
ulted
die.
here.
You're not saving that, man. The Baron is up, but question is are they comfortable enough to look for it? Or are they just going to siege this mid tower? You don't have the Nautilus, which is your primary engage, and Mbessa has used ours, so it'll be very difficult for Cowboys to be able to start this fight. And yeah, they're just going to have to give that tier 2. We'll look for a reset though. Looks like they're not going to go for more. Evelyn lurking as Evelyn does, perhaps waiting for a couple of his backs to go through.
Charm does land onto In Defiance. Will go down to Ibis.
That man will be shredded.
Now
Mbessa should be able to stick should she wish.
onto Mikolo. The ball
I love
does
Milio-
knock her back, and
Milio ball.
now they do have a 30-second window here to take Baron before In Defiance respawns.
Yeah,
Though a lot of
Nautilus is
ults
showing up.
burned. Nautilus is going to get jumped on by Maria's Dungeon. But now Mikolo taking a lot of damage from on the other side of the fight and will go down. Expo taking a huge chunk of damage,
All
but
alive though.
all the carries
Azir
from
ulti
Maria's
is
Dungeon
coming
are
up soon, same with the Victor ulti. And Skarner is gonna make his way over. This is a messy fight. Oh, he looks for it.
He's going to
Misses the
miss it.
shuffle. Will not get stunned by the Victor ulti. Damn, that really didn't stun. I thought it would. Okay, Lucian looks to trade.
He's going to get a huge trade on
This is a
Deny.
very low Azir.
Nate Babe
This will definitely just be a get out angle. for
healing
Maria's Dungeon, I feel
to
like.
80% HP with the Evelyn passive.
They shall be resetting for Drake here. Oh, Nate Bait, this is your moment. God damn it, Nate Bait.
Nate
Nate Bait,
Babe
no!
might be
Nate Bait,
trolling
no.
a little bit.
Nate Bait, no. Did he have ult there?
He did have ult.
I feel like you just click R, no?
Yeah, now that's Dragon Soul.
Oh no, Nate Bait. Nate Bait, I can't believe you've done this.
Looks like they're gonna
That's
opt to
unfortunate.
possibly just trade Soul for
Oh, if they trade Baron,
Baron.
that'd be a good play. Yeah, this makes sense. Although they might see the Vector. No, I don't think they do. Does Maria's Dungeon know? I don't think they do. Yeah, they don't. They're chilling.
Now,
Well,
I need to see Cat Cowboys build some anti-heal here now, or else
this is true.
this game will be kind of doomed. Void Staff onto Ibis.
Okay.
Okay, apparently from chat, Evolt was 3 seconds off cooldown.
I was about to say, because I remember it being on a pretty heavy cooldown during the fight, like the initial fight, but obviously it was up. I checked later on, so I wouldn't have been surprised. I do notice that Steel Myself is not opting for the IE and instead going a Last Whisper. Okay, there goes the Evolty.
Looking probably for the... oh, actually, we'll just complete Lord Dom's. Oh, either getting caught out yet again.
Ooh. A rough game for the Nautilus, it feels like.
Yeah. Does not opt for the... Does opt for the Lord Doms instead of the anti-heal one. But yeah, it's not going to build.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like when you see the Ocean's Dragons coming in, you just say, like, screw it. And especially because you have melee anyways.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, not a good start to what is a Baron for Soul Trade. If they're able to get that advantage with the Baron, then it's good, but it does not look like they're able to do that. In fact, they might be losing this tower here. I say might, but it is a guarantee. Yep, it goes down. At this point, it feels like it's got to be a banger Nautilus engage or Evelyn.
Yeah.
Or I suppose Ambessa, but that Ocean Soul just means the conditions for getting a winning fight are even harder.
Absolutely.
If they're allowed to stall it out, because all these fights have been decent engages and then they just get stalled out too much. And if that happens, it's not gonna fly anymore. They do have Prio. Perhaps could look for something bot tower here as well. They will rotate, but with the Azir there, I don't know if they'll be able to get the tower. And Skarner rotating as well.
It looks like the pen item that Azir has opted for is the Bloodletters.
Interesting.
Which I see them discussing in chat, just like just doesn't have a lot of other magic damage on his team, but I think the main reason he's building it here is because it gives him more health to be able to survive getting one shot by the, or he'll just get one shot anyways. My bad. Okay, but that Ocean Soul healing them here very well.
Doing that. Oh, the Nautilus are barely out of range. The wave will be coming in just a moment here. Eve is rather low though. And with that tier 2, they will get a nice injection of gold. So now, even though they've been losing these past 2 fights, they are up around 2.5 cows in gold. That does mean almost absolutely nothing at this stage of the game, but we take what we can get from Cat Cowboys here.
Crypt Bloom gives no HP. Guppy.
Indeed.
It's CDR ability haste and yeah, it's ability haste and AP. Yeah. No health. But yeah, the Eve with the 40% HP or 40% MR.
It's got like a massive execute bonus as well, no?
The ult, yeah. If you're below 30% HP, you get like an extra 1500 damage on your ult, something like that.
No shot. Is that literally what it is? I thought it was just a percentage increase.
I just played an ARAM game and I was looking at it. It could be one. I think it's like a flat 900 at max rank. It's a flat 900 bonus damage, but when they're below 30% HP plus an extra scaling, I think.
Oh, Jesus. All right, those ornaments are coming in. The 2 carries now have taken control. Don't know if I agree with upgrading the Essence Raver over the IA, but I'm not an ADC player, so who cares what I think?
He wants the ability haste. Smile.
Yes, you're really that on Lucian though. You just gotta shoot him, you know, one combo. I guess they're not really one comboing a lot of these
Still
times.
no anti-heal purchased for anyone on the Cat Cowboys. I feel like Ibis is the person who can apply it the easiest.
Yeah, at this stage.
Could have just bought an Oblivion Orb and that would do work, but
now he's got to sit on that Dark Seal for some reason.
Dark Seal is winning from behind though.
I'm an avid Magi's and Dark Seal hater.
Magi's is actually highest win rate from behind.
I've seen that stuff.
Which is crazy. But Elder Dragon spawning in 40 seconds here. Evelyn might be looking to get a one-shot onto somebody.
And it won't be the Skarner, because if he can one-shot Skarner, this game would be a lot easier. And also the champion would be picked a lot more.
Hey, babe, doing some
She's lurking though. She's lurking.
Can stand on wards for free.
Actually, interestingly enough, I don't know if you're supposed to. I don't know, because like, I know some junglers prefer different runes or different trinkets, but she does have the sweeper. Or does not have the sweeper. Instead just has an awards. Alright, yo, Skarner, where you at? Oh, okay, he's hitting insane R's, that's what he's doing. They make sure
Charybdis does get one shot.
Decides to get sent to the Shadow Realm. The Azir ulti though is huge. Nautilus will definitely die as a result, but Inai is very low as a result. And oh, okay, Bloodlighters almost mattered. Actually, it did matter because Tristana flashed and inted a bit because Tristana also didn't need to die there. But also, I can't blame Tristana because if Azir got out there, that would be so upsetting.
Oh, is that
Will they be able to
game?
end though? I don't know. They only have this one wave. And Bessa will be full HP. Yeah, they think they might be able to, yeah. Because Evelyn is not here.
Evelyn is here now.
Although, actually, Evelyn is here. Evelyn is not able to get onto the carries, though, but nah, it won't
They
be
will
an end.
get
They have
the
waves
wave.
here. Yeah, and they'll be able to top their HP up, so. Evelyn will be lurking, though. Okay, now
Does
Evelyn has
have
officially
ult
reached
now.
the waves.
Evelyn did just hit ult.
She killed the Ornn. She killed the Ornn!
Evelyn did complete Void Staff as well.
They may be dropping these pinks in the next set.
No, for real.
They did not want Evelyn doing shit to their Lucian. Okay, it didn't matter. Lucian got. Lucian got.
blown up
I swear
before
to God, I feel
Dragon.
like, listen, I see Evelyn do that, and then I'm like, I can make an Evelyn support work, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't need to one-shot them, but I can do like half of that damage. This champion is OP, you know?
Hey, some good chunking onto Miklo here.
the
Miklo forced to
ult right
flash out.
Oh,
Ornal does hit
ulti goes
3.
wide, though.
So did Indefiance
Starter
ult goes
ulti
wide.
Also goes wide.
Hook lands on the
Okay,
Miklo.
Nautilus hook. Oh, but they can't get onto the Azir, and it is hurting. He's Victor. Stuns are insane, though. Okay, and I makes the play. And it's looking like they're winning. Yeah, and this is the Ocean Soul diff. This is just the Ocean Soul diff, yeah. They were just healing at the end there.
No anti-heal built by the Cat Cowboys here,
That's-
and that's gonna be what.
That's what does them in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. You told it to them, too. They didn't hear you. You could have just DM'd them mid-game.
Yeah, I could have.
And done
But
unsportsmanlike behavior.
I'm 3 minutes behind, so it's not like it matters.
Listen. You could have told them 10 minutes ago to build anti-heal, and it would have still mattered. You've been saying that for way more than 3 minutes.
That's true. They needed anti-heal as soon as
You've been saying
they
this
were
since, like,
down
25 minutes.
2 drags.
Ever since they got the 3rd dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Elder spawned. And they've had 2 fights since Elder.
Correct.
So that's at least like 8 minutes.
Now is this when the fabled reverse sweep
Were Cat Cowboys
comes
right?
through?
Is it going to be a 3-0?
I am a believer. I believe in the reverse sweep.
Okay.
If
Okay.
only for that I can play Silver Scrapes. That's my dream.
I can respect it.
Cat Cowboy's not tilted. Strongest mental in the league. True? Okay. Alright. We're gonna see you guys once we hit draft for game number 3.
get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. On we'll go, finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
All right, welcome to the draft for game number 3, Cat Cowboys versus Maria's Dungeon. Cat Cowboys have opted for blue side this game, hoping to make a change and hopefully come out on top for a game here. Looks like bands are overall staying fairly the same, and they will be locking by first pick for the Cat Cowboys.
Hey. Yeah, going through the draft very fast. Banning the Wukong this time. And also Oriana, I believe, is new. Okay. Bringing up a Poppy from Ray's Dungeon. Believe that is a flexible pick. We will have to see where it goes. I imagine they don't even know themselves where it's going right now.
Quite not yet. Yeah, not quite yet.
And what will they lock in here? Perhaps some ADC that can do well into a buy. Perhaps a mid laner. Okay, so they will be committing the Poppy. to
top or
I
support.
believe, or
Can be played
most
top,
technically top,
but
yeah.
I don't know if. I mean, it's another tank to put Miklil on, so I mean.
True. True.
But I do know
Definitely leans towards the bruiser.
Cat Cowboys love the Vi Ari combo. Has a lot of good skirmishing power there, so might be opting for that.
True.
But could look for something else. Will be a Kaisa. Might be opting for a
Okay.
full dive comp here.
Yeah, you lock in the R here, surely. Surely. Or you just give your mid lane counter pick. I suppose that's a
Then the
reasonable
big thing
option.
is with the dive, Amumu does kind of dissuade the dive a little bit, especially if he's playing back. Because if you get dove on, Amumu can just ult the people who are diving. But Amumu generally tends to be looking forward, so will actually be the Leona pick for the support, looking for a very aggressive bot lane here for the Cat Cowboys. And Maria's Dungeon will be picking Xayah. Makes sense into a dive comp like
Makes
this.
sense. This makes sense.
So bans from Maria's Dungeon. Probably looking at something. Will be a Mordekaiser. Interesting pick. A Akali by the Cat Cowboys. What will be Maria's Dungeon last ban for this phase and what could be the series?
True.
Will
Will
be
be
the
Ahri.
Ahri.
Unless they decide to swap it, no, they will commit. And the Rakan. We'll go through Nozaya Rakan for the side of Maria's Dungeon. Although low-key, I'd imagine, I don't know if Cribbits will play this, but something like a Morgana would be pretty nice into the Vi. We'll see what they commit to, though. Yorick.
No,
Do they lock it in?
York is a strong champ, but if you can
do.
play a counter into it, it can be very easily countered with something like a Cho'Gath or
Irelia?
Irelia. Cho'Gath and Irelia both really good picks in this. Cho'Gath can insta-eat the wife of Yorick off from full HP, I think. So
That is hilarious.
Cho'Gath is a good pick here, and maybe they're listening to me, or maybe they're thinking of this themselves, but Cho'Gath is a pretty good pick into Yorick. Gets sustain off the ghouls because of just him killing things, gives him a little bit of healing, and then, like I said, the feast or devour, I think it's called, can one-shot the maiden. So quite a good pick into Yorick, though does not have the same necessarily side lane or split push power. Can, depending on what build you go, can be very strong here. And Cat Cowboys opting for the Annie as their last pick for mid lane.
Intriguing.
Definitely not as dive, but Maria's Dungeon will be looking at Alessandra for their final pick here.
Okay. We'll see if they change their minds in the next 13 seconds.
Aurora Hover, Galio, Vigar. What can an I play? What will he play?
It will be the
Zoe.
Zoe.
I don't know this matchup in mid lane. I don't see enough Zoe or Annie to tell which one is going to go which. I don't.
Whichever one hits their CC first, probably. I don't know.
Yeah. Although,
Yep.
so means draft is complete. We will see Cat Cowboys top to bottom: Cho'Gath, Vi, Annie, Kaisa, Leona, and Maria's Dungeon, Yorick, Amumu, Zoe, Xayah, Poppy.
Indeed. What are your thoughts as a Cat Cowboys supporter of this game?
As a Cat Cowboy supporter, there you go. As a Cat Cowboys supporter, member, fan, I don't know. I will be honest.
It's a bit more of a diabolical draft, I must admit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how Lin plays Cho. If you've seen some of the things Baus has done in this champ in the NLC is kind of gross.
I
With
agree,
the rocket
unfortunately.
belt,
I don't know if
Hail
I
of
don't know
Blades,
if
but
Linnea is the boss, unfortunately.
no,
so-
unfortunately not. So we will be seeing how it goes, I suppose, and I guess that's just the reality of casting. We will see how it goes, but if Zoe gets ahead, this champ is cringe, and sleep bubbles are annoying, and Yorick split push is disgusting, and but also they do have a lot of tools to kill the damage carries of Maria's dungeon. So we will see.
Yeah. No more.
My computer is gushing out loads and loads of hot air into my room. Sweating in my hoodie. Need to take that off. And getting DM'd by Ibis in client saying, get ready for silver scrapes.
I'm ready. Listen. Maria's support just called me the number 2 loser, so I am now officially a Cat Cowboys supporter. You know? I have no control over whether or not they win, but I now, in my heart, hope they do.
In your heart of hearts, you deem them as who you wish to face in the finals, assuming you guys can beat DPS. Who Cat Cowboys did 2-0 on Friday, or last Friday.
Sure.
No! Oh no, this is doomed.
Why is this doomed?
My Mio, I'm out of Mio. I don't want non-flavored water. What is happening? My Mio just ran out.
Go drink water.
I am drinking water, but I need my red 40.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm kidding. Really will depend to see on how this Yorick does in the top lane, and then if Kaisa Leona can look for a winning and high pressure bot lane here.
True.
Now, this does look like not a half bad game for Kaisa to opt into the poke build, which has been seeing some growing prio recently. But just because I don't know if you can necessarily, these champs are hard to get in range of to auto, so maybe this is a good poke Kaisa game, but then you're kind of lacking in AD damage besides the Vi, so we will have to see.
Yep.
That being said, I'm gonna send us to a quick commercial break, and we will see you guys on the Rift.
Breathe through the fire, break the fire, chasing something true, caught in a bind. Maybe undo, maybe undo. 'Cause when every core felt off, and the silence could be better, every motion falling flat, had to leave you, had to leave you.
Welcome everybody to game number 3 and possibly the final game of this series. Cat Cowboys are down 0-2 in this game, hoping to make a comeback and possibly bring us to a reverse sweep. That is what they will need to pull off if they want to win this series. Let's see what happens. And
the
is
Zoe
forced
Flash
to
he
flash.
also, I see, has Unsealed Spellbook. Cleanse on both ADCs. Rather valid considering the copious amounts of crowd control on both sides. Okay. Charybdis looking in. Ether electing to start E. Perhaps a misplay considering that fight that just happened.
Do myself is chunked to about half HP before they even get to lane. This is not what you want to have happen. Before you even start farming.
It's been a while since I've seen the Kai'Sa Xayah ADC matchup. I remember that meta. Every game, Kai'Sa Xayah.
And Ibis opting for the electrocute in this matchup will get some good chunk damage onto Nai there, but Nai is forced to use one of his potions. Obvious prio here for the side of Marie's Dungeon in the bot lane because of that horrific trade, walking to lane.
Indeed. That's why you don't click your level up ability until you see what's about to happen.
Sleep. We'll go through either Eing on the Charybdis here with a Vi behind them onto Expo. And first blood goes to Kai'Sa.
And that man got sent to the Shadow Realm. Holy. Don't know if they'll be able to get the Poppy
know
though.
if they have enough.
Even if that Viq comes back up, I don't think they have the damage.
No.
Up.
But that's how you get this bot lane back into the game with that recamp game.
That they are.
Here.
And considering it was a top to bot clear, Indefiance will not be able to punish, except maybe by getting an early double scuttle or something along those lines.
I didn't see that full pathing, but if I skipped her entire bot side just to walk towards the bot lane.
True. But considering she pathed top to bot, it's not the most punishing.
Holy Ibis forced to flash on her tower, and now there's a Nate Babe here to collect an eye himself, and Cowboys start 2-0.
My goodness. This is Vi all over the place.
lots of boards on Vi's bot side, but
Asa potentially overextended here. Does have all summoners, so I don't foresee this being a death, but
is here and either barely avoiding getting rooted by the feathers there and is able to walk out. And Steal Myself Flash is forced, but that's about it. It is important to note that when Expo did die, he did not burn his flash. It was just cleanse burn there. And Vi is looking top here, and Nate Babe is surely not going for this.
he does. He doesn't care. You just gave Mikkolo a free grasp of the Undying proc, my good sir.
And also a Mumu free dragon here.
That is true. Good gold lead, but not good objective conversion.
Into this Tri-Brush, the side of the bot lane of Marie's Dungeon, and they might be looking for something onto Leona here. Leona avoids the root again. Is gonna Expo flashes under tower.
Ooh.
Barely not getting the kill there, and now he's but the wave is crashed. Will probably be able to walk out without dying, but very close there. Either barely escaping there, and Expo flashing for nothing.
Yeah, picking the Leona knowing that it was into a Poppy kind of guaranteed that the lane was going to be a bit rough.
Now Tibbers does do a good job of keeping an eye off of Ibis when he does get slept. Finds clearing a control ward here in the top lane, or top side of mid lane rather. And it might be the beginning of a classic 5 minutes of doom, or rather at this point just under 4 minutes, but
Oh, we got grubs in a minute. What do you mean?
you're right.
Important objective,
You're
which
right.
surely Maria's Dungeon will, for the third time in a row, just swap top lane.
But those Cowboys are actually the first to have a swap here, and they do have Kai'Sa Leona mid. They have to put Annie bot lane here. Finds his bot lane. Grub spawning in 40 seconds. Giving in Defiance plenty of time to get top, and either missing the E and I missing the bubble.
This time, Cowboys are the ones that have done a lane swap. Will Abis be able to one-shot this poor unsuspecting ADC?
Meanwhile, mid lane,
Find out.
Cleanse
No,
burned.
we won't.
Mumu ult burned, and
This is a
the
dead Poppy.
Cowboys are the ones who come out on top with the Poppy going down, and that's a lot. Oh,
Ooh! That's a dead Leona. That's some oomph damage right there.
use the ignite that they picked up from killing a minion, the most cringe thing in the game, to get that kill. And now,
I don't know if they can take this. This is a 3v3, but they are very much down.
He's gonna get smite.
They do get
onto
two, though.
number
They do get
2.
two. And if Nape can get out, a very big if, mind you. Oh, no, they cut off the chase.
Should be fine.
It was a pretty successful escapade for Cowboys. They get 2 grubs. Bot lane does get a little bit of an advantage because Kai'Sa gets the kill. And Avis is able to pressure Expo off the wave. Even though it was only a 1-for-1 and they get +1 dragon, you know, that's a trade you take Cowboy side, especially because they also got feats off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a lot of progress for those feats.
Now, Minion is sitting on 2 stacks already, one from Minion and one from an Epic Monster. I'm
And did
curious.
he,
I think he got one of the grubs, yeah. No, I'm curious what the Maiden counts for the Cho'Gath Chomp.
This is true, yeah, because I was wondering, did he get the maiden? Okay, it does say epic monster. There's a pets. There's a pets
There is a
category.
pets
It goes into
category.
the pets category.
Okay, okay.
That being said, despite this being a counter, there is.
Just keep going through onto Expo. Yeah, unfortunately, if you do get trapped in the cage with the maiden still alive, the damage from York is pretty strong. Just gonna sit there and let him get hit, but minion will be okay. We'll sustain off these minions.
Yeah. The R does 1289, so not a pure one shot.
Okay, okay. Now in Nai,
Oh, Zoe!
we'll go.
My goodness,
We'll go down to Nade, babe.
He thought he was safe. He was not safe. Even Flash there too.
Oh my goodness.
Nice
that's
little
rough.
pick from Cat Cowboys.
Niccolo. Maybe assumed he had some free time with this tower, but he did not. Meanwhile, Nipid going on in Defiance here. Do have Kai'Sa ult to follow that up.
They should
Nipid
get
will
this.
flash to
Did you
follow.
need to flash that? Probably did. Probably did, Loki. And they will
But they
secure the
guarantee.
dragon. And this is by far the best early game that we've seen from Cat Cowboys.
Director camera really likes to watch the opponents. You're looking at Linian and Niccolo trading grass procs.
Now, to be fair, it was that a rewatch of I Whack a
Dragon for a little bit. yeah.
Dragon, so, you know, it's...
Oh, Linian. Getting
Yeah,
low
Linian's
here. Will be forced
not
to
as
back.
much of a counter pick as we were thought to believe.
Does have TP though. And that will be a play going to Niccolo here. Maybe even two. Will be two. We'll get hit by Linian's knockup, but... And there goes your wife. Sorry, bud. Two plates in the mid lane to Expo. They do have three mid here for Maria's dungeon, but as Cat Cowboys get back onto the map after completing some items, we'll see this about 2k gold lead, just under 2,000 gold lead for the Cat Cowboys come into some sort of fruition. Lots of wards from Maria's dungeon in the red side of Cat Cowboys. Mumu just hanging out mid lane. Doesn't want his Zaya to die yet again.
An admirable goal. I too do not enjoy it when my ADC's eyes die.
True. However, now that you are a diehard Cat Cowboys fan, you are a fan when this side dies.
Hey, you know, you got me there.
Now I'm curious if Ibis will be going for the Malignance into Shadow Flame build, or if he will be building something else. But Vi is here.
Find out.
Does have ult if Niccolo does have flash, but will flash the knockup. Can't imagine he will be escaping, however. And that's another chomp for Linian. Pings to invade, which makes sense, but Ibis is in threat of getting dove here. Can't get stunned against a wall by Charybdis. He's gonna look at clearing the wave. His
Okay, it
stun
does
will
does
probably
have a
just go
couple
down
of-
here to an ally.
couple of smooth feats, but unfortunately, I think when he burned that Q on the minion wave right before they showed,
Ooh,
that spelled his
Peter ult
doom.
going a little wide on Expo.
Yeah.
But now, getting walked at by Charybdis and in Defiance.
They're
Should be
making no,
fine.
they're
Vi is spotted on a ward here that might be able to steal myself and either walking forward to protect Nate from possibly getting jumped on. Either getting chunked for kind of what seems like free. No, this Amumu is really just sacrificing farm just to stand by the Poppy Zaya. So it is relatively even farm, that being said. But does not want his carries dying.
A
This
valid goal.
does get walked out by Indefiance, but will be able to walk out. Poppy and Zoe are back bot here. They might look for a secondary possible dive here, but Poppy will complete her back. Oh, I love top lane. Look at this. Just farming and trading grass rocks. Oh, yummy. Now, curious if the normal, like, what you call them? The ghouls, if those count as pets or minions. Mumu does get a 2-man ult here, but Kaisa does go down here, actually, and now an anti-TP behind enemy lines and is in between 5. We'll just go down here.
An unfortunate fight from the Cat Cowboys.
Wow. First turret is taken by
Lane gets his value
top
up top lane. They get the feats at least.
30 feats. Will this be first tower going down? I think it will, or rather second tower, but first tower in the mid lane. Cat Cowboys will be up for this dragon, however, Ibis does not have TP. And looks like they are bringing Cho'Gath to get the guaranteed smite. Which will leave Mikkolo alone in the top lane and probably a top lane turret there, but guarantee a Infernal Dragon is possibly worth it.
Yeah. I'm surprised they were allowed to do this. Well, I guess when you burn all of your resources killing many enemy members, you gotta take some time to reset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this turret will be going down to Mikkolo. We'll be claiming Rift Herald for their own here. Cowboys looking to claim a tower by lane. Oh. Lakey losing half his HP to a blind bubble from an eye. He did not know he was in there, just a guess. That's an eye flash burned, and oh, Rihanna jumping onto him.
Playing it as well as he probably could, but it does not matter. Bro is dead.
But now Expo is here, and Expo's
This
by himself. Oh, will Flash get the kill onto Annie, but he will be dead himself. And now Cryptus 1v3 is going to go down.
Dying here.
Vi 6 kills now in this game.
It's a rather strong Vi.
And because of the members who just kept going in one at a time in the bot lane, they were not really able to trade for anything on the other side of the map. Heading towards this mid lane by the Cat Cowboys, looking to break this first tower and open up the map a little bit. And steal myself, walking up. He's getting just walked at by Cryptus, but he's going to take a good chunk of damage himself. And actually, now that I see it, Steal Myself has 2 completed items now with the Rage Blade.
Decently strong.
Amumu just using the Rift Herald to fight instead of doing anything. But now, Expo getting flashed on is just going to go down. Cho'Gath is going to eat Poppy.
Up just yet.
Now, Indefiance is behind 3.
Rough.
Vile is going to go down. And Silenced is just going to go down to Nate Babe. And now this mid lane turret should be free. And Otacon does spawn in 45 seconds. They will all be up for that, but Cat Cowboys probably want to look for a back to spend the gold they just got off of these towers and fight if they want to really pressure this Otacon. Looks like they'll actually just be walking bot here. Backs coming through. I will say, Indefiance trolled that fight really hard. Taking that, the freaking, the thing. My brain is exploding right now.
The thing.
The race
That's
car.
good enough.
He took the car and he drove through the fight and was not there to use his ult on 4 stacked members of Cat Cowboys.
Unfortunately, a Mumu R is a little bit more OP than.
Drowsy will go on to Annie, but Zoe will not really be able to go through on us. And now they are hitting Otacon.
Slithered past.
Either does land on in Defiance, gets stunned, is forced to flash. Bubble going wide. Ibis taking a gonna walk onto the bubble. Otacon doing so much damage here because he can. And in Defiance, Drowsy landed onto Kaisa.
Kaisa gets hit by a bubble. Will flash it. But this is now a get out as fast as you can.
Kaisa hit by a third bubble. Will ult and will get flashed on and it will go down, and that will be Otacon just going down to Marie's Dungeon. Unfortunately, Cat Cowboys really misplayed their hand there. The resist shred from Otacon is very dangerous if you haven't guaranteed that the enemy team can't contest you on it, and the Zoe bubbles are putting in so much work.
Absolutely.
Gold actually now in the favor of Maria's Dungeon after that fight. York does base, does not have TP. Cat Cowboys are the first technically here. Drowsy will go on to Ibis, but Inai forced to hit one of his fake flashes. His real flash will be coming up very soon here. And now we are posturing for a fight. You need to not get hit by these Zoe bubbles or else the fight will just be lost. We'll be starting Dragon here. Bubble goes on to Leona. Now, Bubble goes on to Cho'Gath here, and good 1,000 damage from that Zoe bubble. Thing is, Cho'Gath is not gonna walk. It's too late. They're just gonna give the dragon. And we'll be looking mid to get this tower possibly.
Yeah, they need to find ways to force these fights.
Jumping on it either.
Ooh.
Tibber's doing a little bit of damage to the backline here, but is not gonna do much.
Poppy is rather low, but yeah, it doesn't look like Cat Cowboys want to fight, and I can't blame them. Ooh, a Mumu hits in a good R. And that's all they needed.
Maybe forced to flash out himself, and will get hit by a bubble. Inai is Can't do much else here, but that's 2 fights in a row now where Cat Cowboys, who had a good lead, are just getting champ gapped. Amumu landing multiple man stuns 2 fights in a row, and Zoe Bubbles just wreaking havoc.
Absolutely.
I think Cat Cowboys are able to win if they're able to like kind of determine the engagements themselves, but if they're the ones getting chased down, they lose pretty hard. And now Expo at 3 full items already, up about 30 farm. And now Ibis forced a flash from Niccolo. Will just get killed under tower, and now Niccolo will flash out, but Niccolo just walks at Annie and kills her. We'll TP out to escape the buy. And now Race Dungeon are just hitting Baron. I wonder if Cat Cowboys are aware. Expo down to about half HP from this Baron, however, but it's getting so low that they might just die here. Indefiance will get the smite, and that will be Baron going to Raise Dungeon. TP from Annie, they are pinging to fight here. Stun goes wide. Miklo does not get stunned by the Leona ult, and now Vi looking onto Amumu. Knockup does go through, and now Amumu ult is burned, but Miklo gets shut down onto Vi, and now Miklo, however, is going to go down to the feast by Cho'Gath. And now it is a 3v3 here, but all ults used by the side of Cat Cowboys. Plenty of ults available, both by Yanai and Expo. Bubble barely going wide onto Leona there. And now gold lead is about 4k in favor of Maria's Dungeon. This is unfortunate for how well Cat Cowboys did play the early game. Dragon spawning in about a minute. Pings towards mid here by Maria's Dungeon, trying to get this prio before they head towards Dragon. Meanwhile, Cat Cowboys are just pinging towards top lane, wanting to get this tier 2, forcing Miklo off the tower. But Zoe is here, or will be here soon. Tower will go down, and Dragon spawning in 10 seconds. Bubble lands onto Nape, but he will be able to get out with a dash. Cat Cowboys now are looking to contest his dragon possibly, but Zoe is TPing bot. I don't know if they'll be there in time. Poppy ult will get Vi out, and because of that, now Nape and either, or rather Steal Myself and either are not where they want to be. Mumu flash ults, gets a 2-man ult, and now no damage left for the side of Cat Cowboys, although Annie does land a good stun either here. Linian putting in some good work. Nape does trade a kill 1-for-1 onto Zoe. And now it's just Cho'Gath. Leona, oh my gosh, will he get Kribis here? Either will he get out, but now here comes Mikolo, and he does a lot of damage to tanks. Linian will be forced to flash out. And that's a 4-for-3. That's a, unfortunately, Dragon did go over to the side of Maria's Dungeon, but that's a, I mean, if you want something, that's what you want from Cat Cowboys. You want to get some gold back in your pockets now. Gold lead from 4K to about 1.5. Game now definitely looking more winnable. However, 4 minutes until the next Infernal Dragon spawns, and Infernal Dragon, not one of the most winningest souls, but very strong nonetheless if you do burst damage like Inai and Expo do, as well as in Defiance. Bubble landing onto Nate Babe. will get dashed on by Charybdis, and Nipid will be forced to flash. Meanwhile, either ult going on to Charybdis, but now either is by himself. His team is not there to help him, and will just go down. Little overzealous play there by either of the Cat Cowboys. And now Linian gets stunned in the exact same spot, and will also probably just go down as Cat Cowboys can knock into this fight. Actually, Linian just eating the Poppy there and walks out. None the worse for wear. And now Annie gets hit by the Zoe Sleep. Indefiance 3-man ult. Meanwhile, Indefiance will actually go down to Ibis. Linian will go down. 3v3 here. With only Vi ult available, but Xayah does have ult. And Bubble, another Bubble landing. Is Zoe putting in crazy work for the side of the Maria's Dungeon. Expo will get ulted. Expo will be ulted too, and we'll just go down. Baron spawning in about 15 seconds. Chat, where's my co-caster? I haven't heard him speak in 3 minutes. Now, Baron is getting hit by Maria's Dungeon, and no one on Cat Cowboys is really nearby to challenge it. It will probably just be going down here. Goal lead back to 4K. Dragon spawns in about 40 seconds. Members of Marie's Dungeon have back to spend their gold, and Steal Myself disconnects from the game. Pause will go through. Gold lead at exactly 4K. Unfortunately, the pause placed me right over in Defiance, and this little sad mummy is crying and shaking in my ears. You can just hear him shaking, his china rumbling, and he's whimpering. That's how I feel right now watching the Cat Cowboys lose this game. Amumu, I get it. Chat. Someone give me the odds you think Cat Cowboys win this game. I'm giving them a 1 in 20 right now. Maybe a 1 in 10, but probably closer to a 1 in 20. 0%, it's never 0%. Throws are possible, but it's definitely not a high percentage. 1 in 4, Uncle Daddy. Okay. Now we back. And Miklo actually possibly getting engaged on before this dragon. Nape using ult even. Oh. And the old spectator client after a pause will do a little bit of freezing. And we're gonna have to wait here. Wow, is it? Oh, never mind. It will go through right away. And now Nate Babe getting locked at and might just go down before this dragon. If he does, it's And that's probably Soul going to the side of Maria's Dungeon. A little too aggressive play there by Cat Cowboys, and now they lose their 2 smites, and that'll be Soul going over to Maria's Dungeon. Ibis and Either trying to do a Fnatic bush here in the enemy blue to possibly cheese, but actually, Amumu is by himself on Dragon. They're gonna... is forced to flash out. This will be their last-ditch effort to win this game. Feel myself, one shot by an eye. Now, Ibis will get in Defiance, but will get flashed on. Exhaust goes through, and Either is the last one alive by the spawn, and that's it. Meanwhile, Mikolo has 2 waves bot. Will look to end this game. Is doing so much damage to Nape here, and that's probably a GG. He's getting flash or TP. Mikolo for Chomp Goat is canceled actually by the flash, and well, the end will probably still go through. This looked like a good early game from the Cat Cowboys, but unfortunately, Zoe is just a champion that exists. And that will be a 3-0 for Maria's Dungeon. Once again, in Defiance, cutting Cat Cowboys' dreams short in semifinals. They might need to pick that guy up for next season, because then how do they lose? True? True. Okay. That being said, that is our series. Red Strike's still muted. Not sure where he... Oh, never mind. He said something about having to go. He is gone. I'm by myself. Now, looking at MVP, I mean, after all 3 of these games, dominant performances, I have to give it to Inai. The Azir, absolute masterclass. The Zoe, while looking a little shaky early, came through with the bubbles late game. And what did he pick first game? I don't remember what he picked first game. Give me a second, I might be able to find out. Was the A-Soul, yes. Gotta give it to Inai. And welcome, Inai. Congratulations.
Oh, I'm here too.
Oh, and In Defiance is here as well.
Yeah, this is my partner in crime right now.
Partner in
Yeah, he
crime.
said he'll do the interview if I joined him.
Okay. Well, first question for you in Defiance. How does it feel to 3 times in a row knock Cat Cowboys out in the semifinals?
I think it's just like my resume for becoming an admin on your guys' server. I think it's deserved.
Okay. Yeah.
I think 9-1 playoff like resume is like, just
Yeah,
just
no.
bring me in, coach.
Thoughts on getting picked up for next season? Because then they'll be on. They can't lose. Surely.
True. I mean, next season will be really good. I do plan on mostly doing content and stuff next season.
Okay.
I technically meant to this time, but like, the boys dragged me in, and it's really hard for me to say no.
Fair
So like
enough.
all in all, like, it could be wide open for Cat Cowboys next season because I'm gone.
Okay. Well, now to the person I have decided is the actual MVP, not in Defiance. Inai, congratulations on those 3 very well performed games on the A-Soul, the Azir, and on the Zoe. Wow, I don't even really know what to say other than you know how to perform on those champions. What was your guys' thought process going into this series?
Thought process? Well, we had a pretty good draft prep. A lot of the characters are like people are very limited in draft. And it's pretty easy to play. Maybe I shouldn't. It's pretty easy playing as a mid laner because we have like a very similar champ pool in terms of, like, we both play mages.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I play like more weird stuff than him, so it's kind of hard for them to ban me out or pick against me.
Sure.
And I mean, it's playoffs, so I have to start playing the game again. I don't ever play
Absolutely.
the game during normal season, but I'm warm now. I'm
You
warm.
gotta lock in when it actually
I'm
matters.
locking in. Yeah.
Awesome. Good to hear. Well, so that puts you guys as um, you will be in the finals next weekend. Your opponents will either be DPS or Glacial Golems. Who of those two do you like? Would you rather play next weekend, and which one do you think you will be playing next weekend?
I do not know who is on either of those teams.
I'll answer this question
You answer. Yeah.
because I'm here. I'm like the PR guy. I have to answer this type of shit.
Sure.
Like, so basically, I would of course generally say DPS just because like we matched up in my opinion like really well with them in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
GG is can be pretty tough, but like I do like pretty much our people in each role. And I think when you just look at what's happened in like the other games, I do think like DPS is a better matchup. Now, when it comes to like who comes out, honestly, I think it's going to be a really close series. I think it's going to be 3-2, like either way. I think like Glacial definitely shouldn't overlook DPS, especially because DPS kind of actually manhandled them. I think their current roster, the one they've been smashing all the teams on, I
Mm-hmm.
think DPS like manhandled them. So like I definitely wouldn't look past DPS at all, and I wouldn't be surprised to see DPS coming out. But I think it's going to be a really close series. I think it's going to be 3-2 for sure.
Absolutely. Now, if I don't know if you heard, I was talking about this in the first draft, but from what I was aware of, obviously being a sub for the Cat Cowboys, for the draft plan, the draft, at least what they thought they figured out during scrims versus you guys and such, was just banning you out in Defiance.
Mhm.
How did you feel? Did you feel like you were at all limited in draft because
No,
of the bans, or not
no,
really?
not at all. I feel like it's just limiting Nate Babe, to be honest, because I really doubt Nate Babe doesn't play Jarvan and Zhao, like Wukong, Nocturne. I think it's kind of weird because like you could say that they found that out during scrims, but I don't think they've played a single series against us without banning those three champions. And
Sure.
like those are champions I can always like pick up without like either without practice, even though I have been playing them quite a bit. But like all in all, I think what they should have done was kind of focus more on what like they were drafting rather than trying to do that, because especially in game one, I felt like they chose so much AP that gave MR such high value, and then they just didn't have engage. I felt like one of the biggest problems they ran into is the lack of engage in like both the first two games, and I think that's why the third game started to look a lot better because they had more go buttons and they were able to abuse stuff. I think that they were just playing very, very hard to execute comps, and I think that they should have played something like a little bit more bread and butter.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, well, do you guys have any shout outs heading into the end of this weekend and finals next week?
And now you want to do your shout outs?
Um, I'll shout out. I think the last time I interviewed, I didn't give anyone a shout out. They played kind of nervous. The first time I got MVP, but it's near playoffs now, or it is playoffs. We're gonna be in our last couple games, and they've really gotten a lot better. All of my teammates, so they're doing a really good job.
Awesome. So
They
just
deserve to be in
shouting out
finals.
the whole
Yeah.
team. Love to hear it.
Yep, the whole teams. I'm not
Um,
giving Maria a shout out. She's crazy.
There's a few people I'd like to shout out, of course, like, you know, all the people who came in this season. I felt like this season was probably one of the most competitive easily in BTL. Like I had narratives for each team. I thought all the teams looked really good, like JPJ, like the Mingos definitely turned on the magic like late in the season.
mhm.
I even like the DOV Tigers a lot. I thought they were heavily underrated because I mean, like in one day of Gauntlet, they already reached like the third seed of Mountain Wins. So like
Right.
honestly, like I just thought all the games just like felt like bangers. I was on like the edge of my seat all the time. So like I just want to shout out like basically everyone who played. Obviously, my fiance for supporting me, especially with these long playoff runs all the time. So we always go, hey, we can do stuff after if anything goes bad. Never does. I
Mhm.
always end up in the finals, and so it
Yep.
just kind of trolls us like for another couple weeks. So of course, shout out to her. She's wonderful.
Not
And
throwing for the
then
fiance. Well,
right. Of course. I mean, I was on the Mighty Throws once, and we threw a hell of a lot on there. Also, I want to shout out to all the junglers. And I guess for the people who voted for me, because I don't think that I should have won like that handily. Like I can understand winning. And I told me that I need to give myself more credit because I do well in our games together. Like it's not just like the Anai show, regardless of how it is on the spectate thing, or even to me. Oftentimes, I thought like the junglers this whole time were stacked, so I thought it was gonna be neck and neck. Like Zakeki, I thought should definitely have been like way up there. I think Talus is underrated. Nate Babe, obviously, like choosing like the weird champ, still doing a lot of stuff. I thought Nate Babe was crazy. I was like glazing him for like the early half of the season. And then of course Aku coming in late and changing GG around, making them super strong.
Mhm.
I think that I just shout out to all the junglers, I guess. As
Awesome.
Well. And I think that's about it for me.
Awesome. I'll love to hear it. Thanks for joining me in the booth, guys. Thanks for an entertaining, definitely series, despite it being a 3-0. Excited to have everyone in chat join us tomorrow for DPS versus Glacial Golems, which will be the deciding in who plays versus Maria's Dungeon next weekend in the finals. Thanks for joining us, and have a good night.